Sonic and his friends have had some insane dimension-crossing adventures as of late, such as fighting alongside the Justice League in order to stop Darkseid, the Legion of Doom, and of course, Eggman. That's not even mentioning that Mothra and Mechagodzilla have just crossed into Sonic's world and are running amok. And now, things have gotten even crazier, as Eggman is about to make a deal with a sinister figure from Fortnite, one which may spell trouble for Sonic and his world in this lead up to the highly anticipated season of Fortnite. But before we get any further, like, hype, and share the video with a friend, as it all helps the channel immensely. Also, consider becoming a channel member to get some exclusive emotes and badges. With that out of the way, let's see what exactly Dr. Eggman is getting up to. Within the confines of one of his many labs, Eggman, the evil genius extraordinaire, has found strange readings all across his base, readings that he has never seen before. While he looks over this data, things become worrisome as the readings spike off the charts, sending the facility into high alert. Eggman, however, won't be bested by some pathetic anomaly. He's dealt with the likes of this before, even if this is a unique energy signature. But as the Mad Doctor rants to himself, someone has breached his dimension and his base, and they've beelined straight for the single Chaos Emerald that's in Eggman's possession. Just as this intruder is about to snatch the emerald, Eggman turns around, fully aware of their presence this entire time. What fun is life without some theatrics, right? Eggman isn't keen on intruders, especially those who seek to steal a Chaos Emerald from him, and so he unleashes Metal Sonic on the intruder. Metal Sonic drops down from overhead and rushes the intruder. However, the would-be thief easily dodges Metal Sonic's attacks and looks at the machine more like he's impressed by it rather than someone who is intimidated by it. Eggman becomes frustrated by Metal Sonic's shortcomings, telling him to put his turbine into it. The thief speaks for the first time, and it turns out that he is rather impressed by Eggman's technology, as he wasn't expecting to find something so well crafted in this universe that he jumped to. Being an egomaniac, Eggman takes kindly to the compliment, but is still insulted by the fact that this stranger broke in and begins to question why he wants the Chaos Emerald. Meanwhile, Metal Sonic is getting his butt whooped by the intruder, who is blocking and countering everything the Metal Hedgehog throws his way. This is honestly just an everyday experience for Metal Sonic as of late. He stays getting humbled by everyone he fights. Hopefully the movie will give him some redemption and make Metal an intimidating threat once more. The intruder turns to Eggman and arrogantly states that he doesn't need to explain himself to Eggman, and this tells us all we need to know about him. This guy believes that he's leagues above Eggman in terms of intelligence and purpose. Eggman has apparently spent way too much time in the DC universe, as he turns into the Riddler and says, "Well, riddle me this, stranger. Do you even know how to use that emerald?" The intruder merely smirks at Eggman, as he does have a point. He doesn't know how the Chaos Emerald works, unlike Eggman, who has spent years studying their chaotic power. Meanwhile, Metal Sonic is boosting towards the unsuspecting foe, yet Eggman decides to show mercy, ordering Metal to hold, once more impressing the stranger, who finds Eggman's complete control over his machines to be rather fascinating. Eggman takes the opportunity to gloat, but also points out that based on his energy readings, he suspects that this stranger actually came from another reality. And despite this stranger's belief that they may be able to handle a Chaos Emerald, they wouldn't be able to due to the Chaos Emerald's inherently volatile nature. However, Eggman himself is a leading expert on the matter. The stranger is impressed by Eggman's deduction and wants to know what Eggman has in mind. Eggman says, "Well, that all depends on what you can offer me in return for me helping you not kill yourself with one of these Chaos Emeralds." The intruder states that they've been in search for a new power source because theirs is in a compromised state. This is what led him to uncover the Chaos Emeralds and their power. With it, he would be able to continue his operations until he would be able to stabilize the Zero Point, which is a cosmic being that some believe to be the origin of all reality. See, if his plan comes to fruition, he would be able to reshape reality into anything he saw fit, and with this power, he could make sure that Eggman has a favorable place in his new world. While this dream of reshaping reality would be alluring to most villainous characters, adventures, there is one big issue here. He states that he would be the one reshaping reality, and Eggman's ego would never allow for this. As we've seen before, Eggman can align with whomever he wants to as long as it's advantageous to him in the short term. But long term, Eggman has no plans on keeping anyone around. Anyone he allies himself with is merely a pawn in his quest for ultimate supremacy. For now though, Eggman plays along, as the idea of a new reality ripe for the conquering is quite tantalizing. Eggman reaches out for a handshake and asks for the stranger's name. He finally reveals that his name is Geno, and he is one of, if not the most evil character in all of Fortnite. But he also isn't going to just take Eggman at his word, which is rather smart. He states that he's going to need proof of this alliance. With that being said, the two villains return to Geno's reality in order to construct a generator that's able to be powered by a Chaos Emerald. Eggman patches it together with scrap and badniks, but the important part is that it's up and running and able to power the grid. Eggman also reveals here that he's brought some of his army along with him to this reality, which will surely spell bad news for the locals. With the generator up and working, Eggman has proven himself, and finally, the two shake hands, agreeing to work together to reshape reality in any way that they see fit. Back in Sonic's world, Knuckles, Shadow, and Sonic begin to search the last known location of Tails, who had sent out an SOS. As they search, Shadow instantly becomes annoyed, telling Sonic that this better not be one of his pranks. But Sonic is genuinely worried about his friend. He said that Tails had discovered something that could potentially have world-ending ramifications. Knuckles points out an energy disruption and is like, y'all think this has anything to do with it? But as soon as he points it out, a strange beeping noise begins, and a familiar voice rings out, alerting Sonic and his friends. Sonic rushes over as fast as he can to the computer, as Tails comes across the grainy screen. Tails explains to his buddy that he's on the other side of that weird portal that's in the middle of the room. He was able to find this by following strange energy readings, and well, it turns out that it leads to another reality. Tails finally shows some bravery once again, instead of being written as a scaredy cat who is entirely reliant on Sonic, as he explains that scientific discovery was calling out to him and he took the plunge despite the risk. But what really has Tails worried is that he wasn't the first from their world to come over, as Eggman was already there. And to make matters even worse, he's been building something and powering it with a Chaos Emerald. Tails doesn't know the extent of what Eggman is up to, but he does understand that they need to stop him now or things will spiral out of control. Sonic is like, say less, and prepares to rush into the portal to save his friend and stop Eggman like he usually does. But Tails screams out, telling his buddy to wait. He explains to Sonic that Eggman and his partner rigged the portal, making it a one-way trip for any biological creature who enters, meaning that as of now, Tails is trapped. Sonic questions why they couldn't just go in, beat the crap out of Eggman, and make him repair the portal so it works both ways. And Shadow just wants out of this entirely. He promised Maria that he would protect this world, not some other one. And Knuckles can't be cut off from the Master Emerald. If he leaves with no return, no one would be able to guard it. All of this is making Sonic feel like they have no options left to help his friend. But Tails, being the little genius that he is, has a plan. Suddenly, the portal activates and three figures walk out towards Sonic, Knuckles, and Shadow. As they get closer, it's revealed that they are robotic imposters of all three of them. Sonic tells Tails he's going to have to wait a moment as Sonic prepares to square off with yet another robotic duplicate, but Tails informs them that these machines are harmless. Apparently, these were creations of Eggman's at one point, but Tails managed to steal them from a supply convoy, fix them up, and reprogram them to fight alongside the heroes. Geez, it's sounding a lot like Terminator to me. These guys are remote controlled, but Tails explains that if they want a chance at stopping Eggman, he needs their biodata in order to make them fully autonomous. All he needs from the heroes is a handshake, and then Tails and his robots can take the fight from there. there. It's very much in a similar fashion to how Neo-Metal Sonic can take biodata from his opposition in order to power up. Having fought so many duplicates and machines before, Sonic is a bit skeptical and wants to make sure that these dudes aren't going to start believing that they're the real versions and start attacking them. Tails just kind of chuckles, promising that this will work. Trusting his friend, the three agree and shake hands with their robotic duplicates, transferring over their biodata. Almost instantly, the machines become more lifelike, and if I'm being real, I'm not a huge fan of the design of these machines, but I also don't really play Fortnite, so hopefully fans of both like how these guys look, but the shoulder pads and stuff kind of just look dumb to me. Knuckles states what was probably on a lot of our minds and is like, why are these guys so tall and gangly looking? And Tails clarifies that so they can utilize the gear in the other reality, basically saying to the reader that yeah, they have to look like this in order to be in Fortnite. However, the Knuckles bot doesn't take kindly to being insulted and wants to spar with the real Knuckles. The two trade punches and the real Knuckles is sent flying back, which makes me wonder just how powerful these bots are. Knuckles has been able to stand 10 toes down against some of the most powerful villains in DC, and is one of, if not the strongest in his own world. So this really caught me off guard. Sonic and his copy both get between the two of them, showing that the bots really do share the personalities of their originals. The buffoonish humor of the two Sonics ends the rising tension, and Sonic really likes how laid back his copy is. He can only wish that Metal Sonic was a little more like this. While all of this is happening, the two Shadows just look on, annoyed by all of this, which is pretty funny. With everything now ready to go, the bots waste no time and jump back through the rift, and hopefully save the world. The rest of this story will play out in the upcoming Fortnite season, which I will not be playing since I'm not really a fan of the game. But let me know in the comments if you're planning on checking the season out and what you're anticipating from all of this. I wasn't expecting a comic tie-in from this, but I'm really glad that we got one. It was pretty fun overall. It seems to me like in the game, Tails might play a pretty big role since he's actually over in that universe as opposed to Sonic, Knuckles, and Shadow. But I will say that the bots give a cool way for the players to play as them, even if I'm not really a fan of the overall design. So let me know what you guys think about this crossover. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to see more crossovers, check out the video here. And as always, I want to wish you all the best, take care, peace.